What are your chances of getting stabbed in London? London is one of Europe's most beautiful and important cities. It is regarded by many as the business hotspot of Europe, as it is host to major financial institutions that are very much relevant in our world today. Despite how beautiful London is and how prosperous the city has been, there is still a high incidence of knife stabbings in the city. Interestingly, London is not the only city struggling with knife attacks. Several cities in Europe have also been grappling with a high incidence of knife attacks all across major cities in Europe. So it is not just a London thing, but a European issue. However, for the sake of this piece, we will be examining London. London and knife attacks. What it says. Looking at the stats around stabbings or knife attacks, we would see a very bad scenario that shows that London is the epicenter of knife attacks that is spiralling out of control. According to a report by the Metropolitan Police, the Met Police responded to a staggering 13,405 incidents of stabbings in 2022 alone. This is not all. The stats also showed that between October 21 and June 22, there were more than 49,991 reported cases of knife attacks or stabbings. This is equal to an average of 136 stabbings per day. This points to the fact that knife attacks in the UK are a serious issue. Further substantiating this fact is that out of the recorded 679 cases of homicide with the Metropolitan Police, 38% of these cases were knife attacks. While for the perpetrators, 9.3% of them were black, 16.4% were Asian, and 2.1% were Latin American, while 37% of the perpetrators were white. What are knife crimes? Now that we have laid bare the recent stabbing statistics, it is time to describe knife crimes. Usually, knife crimes, as it were, is an all-encompassing term that describes every form of sharp object attack used for stabbing victims. It is important to set the record straight so you have an understanding of what we are saying. Now, the big question is, how likely are you going to get stabbed in London? The probability of you getting stabbed in London is dependent on some factors which include 1. Location. Location plays a big role in determining your probability of being stabbed. In London, recent stats have shown that the probability of being stabbed can be partly location dependent. Some parts are more dangerous than others. Here are some top dangerous locations where you are more likely to be stabbed. Lewisham is a South London borough with a large population. The borough has also been plagued with a high knife crime rate. According to a 2019 report, the knife crime density was 59 per 100,000 people. The total number of knife attacks in the area was 178, which was overall second highest, but when put in the perspective of the population density, Lewisham ranked 5th. 4. Haringey. Haringey is borough of North London. It has a lesser population compared to Lewisham. The knife crime rate density for this location was estimated to be 64 in 100,000 people. But because it has a smaller population, the chances of being stabbed are higher compared to Lewisham. The area recently is known to have little or no support to help the young ones there. This could probably explain why that is the case. 3. Hackney. Hackney is an East London borough. The area is known to have more knife violence than Haringey, but the difference is just a little. The borough is estimated to have a knife crime rate density of 65 in 100,000 people, with a total of 183 knife attacks in the borough. This means you're more likely to have a knife attack staying in Hackney. 2. Kensington and Chelsea. While Kensington and Chelsea borough areas have rich areas where we should expect knife attacks to be less generally, however, because there are still many poor areas in the area, Kensington and Chelsea are still ranked second highest in the incidence of knife attacks. The knife crime rate density of the area is 66 stabbings to 100,000 people. The total stabbing in the area in 2019 was lesser than 103, but because of the small population density of the area was rated second. This means that the smaller population of the borough predisposes people to the likelihood of being stabbed. 1. City of Westminster. In this area, people are very more likely to be stabbed. It ranks as the number 1 location where stabbing is most likely going to occur. Interestingly, Westminster is a political seat of the United Kingdom, but it has often been in the news for knife crime. This is even with the Buckingham Palace located in the area and other symbols of British political strength located in the area. The area recorded about 190 plus stabbing attacks, a stat that alarmed the police. 2. Race. Race is also a major predisposing factor that increases the chances of being stabbed in London. This is backed up by data gathered from the analysis of knife crime incidents. According to the report, black people are 3 times more likely to be stabbed irrespective of the location. This means that whether the location is a high-risk location or a low-risk location, black individuals have more chances of being stabbed. Furthermore, the analysis of data from homicide knife crime showed that black people were 47% likely to be victims of knife attacks. Racism and inequality have been blamed by many to be responsible. The disparity in wealth between black and white could be sponsoring the attack on blacks. Asian. From data available, the Asian population in London had about a 15% chance of being stabbed. Sponsoring this could be the rising Asian phobia that is increasingly becoming a strong sentiment in the country, the sentiment of Asians taking over London Hall. Latin American. Those of Latin American descent had one of the lowest chances of being stabbed. The percentage was just about 2.3%. 3. Gender. Aside from location and race, gender is another factor that increases the chances of being stabbed in London. The stats reveal it all. According to the stats, men are 97% likely to be perpetrators. Of course, this should not be hard to believe, since we rarely hear news of women being the perpetrators. Also, the victims of knife crime are 80% more likely to be men, meaning that men are 80% more likely to be stabbed irrespective of location. But this is not the crux. The greater percentage of the population in Greater London are women, which means that men are severely disproportionately more affected. 4. Being a member of a gangster or criminal gang. Gangsterism is pretty popular. Engaging in criminal activities, including being involved in gang-related activities, generally increases your risk of being stabbed in London. Criminals and gangs are known to be targeted, and this could happen anywhere. However, it's important to note that crime rates and specific risks vary across different neighbourhoods and areas within the City of London. 5. Proximity to a gangster mob. Another factor that increases your probability of being stabbed is proximity to gangster mobs. Getting close to a gangster or having a gangster friend could put you at risk. This is because gang-related violence can escalate and lead to confrontations within themselves and their friends. London, like any major city, has areas with higher crime rates, including instances of knife crime. These areas are often associated with gang activity. However, it's crucial to understand that being a gang member does not guarantee personal safety. Gang-related violence can affect both rival gang members and innocent individuals who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. It is important to prioritise personal safety and make choices that contribute to a safe and law-abiding lifestyle. Engaging in criminal activities not only puts you at risk of violence, but also increases the likelihood of legal consequences, which can have long-lasting negative effects on your life. Instead, consider pursuing positive opportunities and seeking support from community organisations, education or vocational training programs that can provide you with alternative paths to success. Your chances of getting attacked depend on many things, including your race. For example, assuming you're black, the odds of you getting stabbed in a place like London are very high. It gets lower if you are 30 years or more. Asians are generally also likely to be attacked, signalling that these attacks could be racially motivated. If you are a white male, the odds of you getting attacked are pretty low, unlike Latin Americans and blacks. Also on gender, men are severely on the receiving end. As a man, you're more likely to die from stabbing in a city like London. In summary, be careful, take care of yourself, don't get into crime and close to criminals, and you might be safe, won't you? Let us have your thoughts and opinions. That's all for now. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and turn on the notification bell.